Signorotti.
Where do you think your story really begins?
Wow, where it begins. That's got to begin right after high school, I suppose, when I got married. Told my parents I was going to Great America, and we drove to Reno instead and got married.
Who's we?
Kelly and I. Uh, Kelly was the girl I was dating. I met her my senior year in high school. Um, she didn't exactly like her home life, so she figured her father wasn't going to pay for a wedding. So we had dated for a few months, and she decided, well, let's just go get married, because my dad's not going to, pay for a wedding for me. So we drove to Reno, got married, came back all at the same day in 12 hours. We went to Denny's after, because we were both working at Denny's restaurant at the time, and drove back to Denny's, and we all celebrated with our coworkers. And then I didn't tell my parents for 2 weeks that I had gotten married. So I drove Kelly back to her grandmother's, and she was living in Salinas at the time. And 2 weeks had gone by, and my mom called her up, and she's all, "Hello, Mrs. Signorotti. You get your ass down here right now." So obviously Kelly didn't want to hurry to Gilroy, which was where I lived, and her parents lived in Gilroy as well, Gilroy, California. So she was in no hurry to go and confront my mother. So we finally she came down, and we met at the house, and my dad was watching TV, and my mom was all, "You know what your son did?" And then my dad's all, "What did you do?" He's all, "Tell your father what you did." So I told him, I said, "Well, do you remember that day 2 weeks ago when I said we went to Great America? Well, we didn't go to Great America, we went to Reno, and I got married. We eloped." He's like, "You did what?" I said, "We got married." And so, needless to say, neither one of them were very happy. And my mom started crying, and I said, "Well, don't worry, we got it on tape." So they videotaped the wedding, and my mom told Kelly that she's not going back to her grandmother. She's like, "You're gonna stay with your husband now." So we ended up staying the night at my parents' house. Or no, we went to her grandmother's house, but we stayed together.
And how long did you stay at her grandma's house?
Just for a day, and then we came back. We had to figure out we had to get a place to live. So obviously I was living at home, she was living at her grandmother's, and I ended up having to rent an apartment. So we rented an apartment.
Were you making money at the time?
I was making a little bit. I mean, I was making like $20 an hour or $18 an hour, because I was working for the paper company at the time. I was working both jobs. I was working at the paper company, International Paper, which was not International Paper when I first started. It was Crown Zellerback, but they got bought out by International Paper.
Was that straight after high school?
That was, yeah, I got hired right out of high school. So obviously I didn't go to college.
What do you remember about your childhood growing up?
I grew up on a dairy. We had cows. Had to go down and help my dad feed the cows, milk the cows, feed the calves. Just basic farm life. Having a dairy is, nonstop. You have to milk the cows every 12 hours. So we had like 270 cows. So it took about five hours to milk them, another 2-3 hours feeding them. So it was long days.
What was it like growing up on the farm? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah and no. I mean, I didn't like the work. Get down. I mean, it was hard work.
Can you tell me about your mom and dad?
My mom and dad, they married young. My dad grew up in Cordova, Switzerland. He came to America, the United States, when he was 12, I think. No, 14. He was 14 years old when he came to America, and he was the dairy was on a smaller property that my great aunt owned, and he helped her run the dairy on the old farm until he moved to the bigger property over on the other dairy, where my dad later built the house next to my aunt's house, because my aunt gave him an acre to build a house on, and he built the house when he was in his 20s. I don't really know much about my dad's childhood, other than he grew up in Switzerland and came here to America, and then he had the dairy.
Did he come to America on his own as a child?
I think he did, because he left his parents in Switzerland and came to help my aunt on the farm. That's pretty much all I know about why he came.
What is your relationship with your dad now?
My relationship with my dad's still pretty good. I mean, I'm here in Florida now. He's in California, so I don't see him all that often, but we still talk every now and then.
How did his background shape the way he raised you?
I think he gave me a strong work ethic. Taught me that, you have to work hard for what you get in life, and nobody's gonna hand you anything. You have to work for everything you get, and that's pretty much what I had to do. When we were first married, I was working more than one job.
So did your mom work on the farm as well?
No, my mom stayed at home and took care of us and cooked and did regular housework and stuff that most wives in America used to do, or they did back when I was younger. I mean, women now are more career oriented, and most households have two people working instead of just one, and things are a lot crazier and busier now than they were back then. Back when I was growing up, mothers stayed home and the fathers worked to support the family.
And what was your mom like as a person?
My mom was a nice person when she was sober. She drank, and then when she wasn't sober, she would be mean. She had a temper on her. So if you pissed her off, then things were a little bit tougher than they normally would have been.
How so?
Because you didn't want to get her mad. It's easier to deal with my mom when she wasn't mad. I mean, my mom was a sweet lady, but if you pissed her off, she could have a mean side to her.
Do you remember a time when you pissed her off?
Oh, I can't think of a time where I didn't piss her off. I remember one night she asked me to do the dishes, and I didn't do them. The sink was full of dishes, and she went in the kitchen and broke every single one of the dishes into the sink because she got pissed off that I didn't do the dishes.
What are some of your strongest memories of her?
Of my mother,
Yeah.
she was a loving mom. She worked hard when she did work. There's not really too many bad things I can say about her. She was a good mom. She was, always made sure the clothes were clean. I had food in my stomach and that kind of thing. So
Do you think she would be proud of you now?
I think she would. I I would say that I worked hard my whole life. I mean, I don't have a house, but I I, I was a hard worker.
How did losing her change things for you?
Uh, not a lot. I mean, I missed her, but um, at that point in my life, I had my own family by then, and it was nothing that she could have done to make anything better.
When you think of home growing up, what do you picture?
The dairy, the Christmas tree that we always had every year. We always had like a 12-foot tree in the house. It was always present, a bunch of presents for everybody under there, and that's it was always home cooked meals on the holidays. We had family over, and everybody had a good time.
Is there a favourite meal that she cooked for you that you remember?
Favorite meal? Well, she taught me how to cook. I would say probably homemade pasta. Probably be my favorite.
And where was she from?
Actually, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know where she was from.
Was she born in America?
She was born in America, I think. I didn't know much about my mom's childhood or where she came from. I know her father was a welder and worked in the shipping yards in San Francisco. I don't know where they were from though, originally.
Do you have any siblings?
Do I? Yeah, I have an older brother and a younger brother.
So you're the middle brother.
I'm the middle child.
And do you get along with them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him as often because, I'm in Florida. My older brother Jim is in California, and John, my younger brother, is married and has a family. He lives in Texas, so, we don't see each other that often anymore.
Who were you closest to growing up?
Probably my younger brother, because my older brother always picked on me more, so I guess I tended to like my younger brother better.
What were you like together as kids?
Oh, we fought like cats and dogs all the time. We'd tear each other's eyes out if we had the chance.
What do they do now?
My older brother Jim just retired. He was a stay-at-home dad. His wife was in the military. He worked as a butcher on the commissary, and then my younger brother graduated from the University of San Antonio and became an engineer. So he works for the government doing government stuff that's top secret type stuff. So he doesn't really say what he does, but he's an engineer.
How long were you and Kelly together for?
Before we got married or total?
Total.
Probably 39 years total. We were married for 37 years.
Wow. What was that like?
I mean, we had good times and bad times. We had 4 kids together. Obviously, Brandon, my son, because you're married to him, and you guys have 2 kids together. So, I mean, you gave us 2 grandkids, Cameron and Emerson, and even though Kelly never saw either one of them in person, you know, because she thought that, you know, you could FaceTime somebody and it's the same thing as actually seeing somebody in person, but it's not. You can't get interactions like you can when you're in person.
How old were you when you became a dad?
I was 20 when Brandon was born. And I actually Kelly got pregnant on our wedding night.
Wow.
So we were parents right away.
What was it like becoming a dad so young?
I guess I wasn't really prepared for it. I mean, nobody really prepares you when you're growing up to, you know, have a family of your own. You kind of got to learn things as you go.
And you said you have 4 children?
We have 4.
How old are they now? What are they doing?
Brandon's 39. He works from home. I'm not sure exactly what he does, but he gets to work from home. He's got a pretty good job. He retired Air Force. My oldest daughter Megan is not married. She's currently dating. So keep my fingers crossed. Maybe she'll get married someday and have some kids if she can get around to it. She's not getting any younger, I told her. So she's 37. I have Stephanie, my middle daughter, is 35, and she has 4 kids. She has a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old. The 16-year-old Ethan is a boy. Kaylee is 14 or 15. She has another daughter that's 5, and a son that's 2 or 2.5. I'm drawing a blank on their names. I don't know why. So, can't think of their names right off the hand.
And you have one more daughter?
And then I have my youngest daughter Amanda. She's 33. She lives in California, and she's married to another girl. So she's my oddball child that decided that she was going to be gay, and I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't think it's a choice. I think you're born that way. Even though I argued with Kelly about it, that it's a choice, but apparently it's not. You're either born that way or you're not born that way. So I just preferred girls, and she preferred girls as well. So I mean, I can't say why people decide they, you know, what they're gonna do.
What do you think kept you and Kelly together for so long, through everything, thick and
Through
thin?
all the good and the bad. Probably the kids. I mean, I don't, you know, even though I was born and raised Catholic, you know that, you know, divorce is wrong. That when you get married, your vows say you're supposed to stay married till death do you part. You know, through sickness and health, good and bad, and all that. And so I guess I stuck to my vows, stuck it out, and she passed away 3 years ago in 2022, in August 8th of 2022. It was hard for me the first year or so, and I think it was harder on the girls, more so Amanda than the other kids, but they all miss their mother. But I think Amanda's having the hardest time dealing with it, because she was the closest to her mom, and her mom was like her best friend. So
And what happened to Kelly?
we both got COVID in 2022 in July, and she had complications from COVID and ended up getting pneumonia. And she already had problems with her heart, and she got sepsis on top of that. So she had sepsis, she had COVID, she had a bad heart, and just all the complications for that. Her heart gave out. She died from a heart attack and sepsis.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What were your dreams together when you were young?
Our dreams together were to grow old together and raise a family and have a bunch of grandkids. And I guess everybody's got the same kind of dream, but obviously reality sets in, and people don't live forever.
What was she like when you first fell in love with her?
She was attractive, funny. I fell in love with her eyes because she had pretty eyes, and so that was what attracted me to her at first.
What colour were her eyes?
Her eyes were green.
Did you date anyone else, or has it always been Kelly?
No, we broke up a couple times only because before we got married, because her mother and father wanted her to date other guys to make sure that I was the one she wanted to be with. So, we had split up, but I was always following her around on her dates. And I was like a stalker and followed her around, even though she didn't know it.
So you mentioned working at the box plant. How did you get that job?
My brother was working at the box plant for a year and a half before I went and applied to get hired there. They were hiring, so I applied and they hired me. But it was because my brother was already working there that I got my foot in the door.
And how long were you working there for?
I worked at the box plant there for 32 years.
Wow. Did you ever imagine doing something different, or did the job just become part of who you were?
It was just part of who I was. I thought about doing other things, but I was making, good money at the time, and it was I didn't have any training on anything else. I didn't really know anything else, so that was the only thing I knew.
Did Kelly work?
She had jobs here and there. She worked when she could, but it was hard for her to work because we had the kids. She had to raise the kids, and then I was working nights, so every time she got a job, she'd have to work around my schedule, and then I'd end up falling asleep and not watching the kids properly because I was always tired. Because it's hard to work at night, but every time she got a job, she ended up having to quit because of me.
So it sounds like you were just kind of living in the same house and you didn't really get to spend much time because of the shifts you were both on.
Yeah, well, we moved quite a bit actually. We probably stayed in 4 or 5 different apartments over the years. A couple, maybe 5 or 6 houses. We moved like every other year.
And why did you keep moving?
We kept moving because every time we got into a house, the owners decided they wanted to sell it, or once you're not in an apartment anymore, you start renting houses, and the apartments were too small for our family size, so we had to rent houses. And it seemed like every time we found a good place to stay, that the owners decided they wanted to sell the house, or they were going to get a divorce, or something came up to where we always had to move.
Was it chaotic with 4 kids?
Yeah, it's always chaotic especially when you have to move every year and a half.
What was the hardest part of providing for a family?
The hardest part of providing for a family, just doing the work, I guess, making enough money to where the kids, had everything they needed and didn't have to go without.
Can you remember a time in your relationship, a happy memory?
a happy memory in our relationship? Probably every time we had a new child. I mean, that's always a good, happy time.
Did you ever go on vacation together or take trips?
I think we went on vacation once after Brandon was born. He was a year old, and I had gotten my first credit card with a $1,500 credit limit. I booked a trip to Hawaii and went to Hawaii to see her friend that was going to school there at the time. So that's the only real trip that we took. Other than, you know, when the kids were growing up, we always went to Lake Tahoe because I like to gamble, and they had casinos at the time when the kids were younger. They didn't have any Indian casinos in California. The only legal gambling was in Nevada, so we always went to Lake Tahoe. Plus, Lake Tahoe was beautiful, and I like going there during the winter time. So we'd rent cabins during the winter and let the kids play in the snow and that kind of stuff.
When you gambled, what were you hoping it might change?
I was hoping to win a big jackpot, so that, you know, the life type changing jackpots. You know, you see people win to where you win, you know, $1 million or something like that, to where you can retire and not have to work anymore, that type of thing.
Have you ever won on a scratch card?
I won $500,000 after Kelly died.
Wow.
Well, coincidentally, it was 28 days after she died, so in some way I think she helped me win it. I don't know how, but in my heart of hearts, I think that she had something to do with me winning.
Did that change your life?
It definitely, I mean, I took it for granted. You know, I thought $500,000 is a lot of money, but they took $130,000 in taxes, and I put my 2 weeks notice in and then quit work because I thought I'd have enough money to retire on, and it only lasted 2 years, and ended up having to go back to work anyway because I spent all the money.
How did you spend it?
I spent about $65,000-$70,000 gambling at the casinos, and I spent $120,000 on the camper, which I still have. I took the camper out for 10 months and went to Splash RV Resort here in Florida. Spent $22,000 there in 10 months, and then came back to the house, parked the RV in storage, and got a job. I had to go back to work. I ran out of money.
Can you show us some of your scratch cards that you've kept?
Some more ones I've kept. I have a few. These are all scratch cards that I lost on.
Oh, wow. How much do you think is there?
Well, these are all each $50, so there's probably $4,000 or $5,000 worth of scratch cards here that I lost on.
Wow. Is that like 1% of how many you've scratched and lost on?
Probably less than, well, yeah, probably one third of what I've done.
You mentioned you bought a camper with that money, an RV. What do you plan on doing with that?
Well, I had hoped to travel and not have to work, but obviously that didn't work out because I spent most of my money before I started traveling. So I'm forced to work for now.
Are you able to retire?
Not yet. I don't have enough money saved to retire.
When you think about the future, what do you hope for?
Hope that I can stay healthy long enough to where I can actually retire and enjoy retirement like most people that retire can live their life and just be relaxed and not have to worry about money and do what you want when you want, which is what retirement's supposed to be, but it hasn't been that way yet. So I'm hoping that it will get that way.
What would make your days feel a little better or more meaningful?
What would be more meaningful? Make my days better? Not hurting all the time. Being in pain all the time is not fun.
And what do you mean by that?
I mean, my whole body aches. My back hurts. My feet hurt. I always have headaches. So it's kind of hard to, enjoy yourself when you're always in pain.
Do you exercise a lot?
Not as much as I should. I mean, I get exercise when I'm working at work because I'm walking around all night, but I mean, I don't do regular exercise per se.
And do you drink lots of water?
No. I'd be maybe a bottle of water every other week.
No. So what do you drink?
I usually drink soda or coffee.
Do you think that could be part of your problem, why you have so many aches and pains and not moving and...
No.
No?
I don't think so. I mean, I have aches and pains because I worked hard my whole life, and drinking water is not gonna solve that. I mean, you're supposed to drink 8 bottles of water a day, or eight glasses of water a day, I think. And if I drink one a day, I'm lucky.
Do you take any medication for your headaches and anything else?
Probably have 20 different things I take for various things. Take stuff for my blood pressure. I take stuff for my diabetes. I take stuff for aches and pains. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. So, I mean, I even take stuff that I don't know why I'm taking it for.
And who prescribed that?
The doctors.
What do they hope to accomplish by prescribing you things you don't know what you're taking?
It's supposed to help with my cholesterol and things that are wrong with me. So I'm assuming that they know what they're doing.
Have you met anyone else since being with Kelly?
No, not really. I mean, I met people at Splash, but nobody that I've dated or had intentions of dating. Just I've met a lot of people that are in that camping life, and a lot of people were friendly, but I haven't really been looking for somebody else. I probably should, but I haven't.
What was it like leaving California after spending your whole life there?
What was it like leaving? It wasn't that bad. I mean, I came to Florida to see if I'd like it, and I liked it here. It seemed like the people are friendlier here in the South. California, everything was, always hustle and bustle, and the traffic is horrible. And now that I'm here in Florida, I found out the traffic's just as bad here as it was over there. It's bad in every state. But California, I think it's far worse. There's less taxes here, and I didn't think so, but it is. I know when I first got here to Florida, I couldn't handle the heat and the humidity. It was like, I asked you and Brandon, it's like, how the hell you guys live over here in this damn sweltering swamp? And humidity is different than dry heat. People don't realize that, but a dry heat is, I can handle being hot, but being hot and being in the humidity makes it a lot worse.
Do you prefer California or Florida?
I actually like Florida better, but most of my family's in California, so I'm sure at some point I'll probably go back.
Are there any things you'd choose to do differently?
If I had it to do over again,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have spent so much money gambling.
Do you still spend money gambling?
I still spend money gambling, but I shouldn't. Because I work too hard for my money to just, give it away.
What's been your best accomplishment in life?
My best accomplishment in life is my family. I think that means more than any amount of money can give you.
So what's next in your life then?
Retirement. Hopefully. Yes, sir. Is that it?
Is there anything about your life that no one has ever asked you about?
I don't think so. I still think that this is actually kind of weird because I've never actually had an interview.
What advice would you give your kids or your grandkids about work, love, or life?
I'd probably give them the same advice my dad gave me: is just work hard, and you're not going to get handed a free lunch. You need to work for everything you get, because don't expect to be handed to you.
What do you want your family to understand about you when they hear your story?
Not to make the mistakes that I made in my life.
What mistakes are they?
Just being irresponsible with money.
How can they do it differently? What can they do different?
What can they do different than I did? Probably, I would say not gamble.
And do any of them gamble?
Not as much as I did. They've seen what I've done, so they don't gamble like I did. They've seen what it does to people, and they don't have enough money to gamble. They'll go once in a while, but very rarely.
And the last thing before you go, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Oh, probably Cheech and Chong's next movie.
How many times have you watched it?
I've watched that less than my other second favorite movie, Caddyshack. Caddyshack I've probably seen about 30 times. I watched it every time it came on HBO or Cinemax when we had, Cinemax. But I still like Cheech and Chong better.
Is there anything you want to say before we end this?
Be happy and prosperous. This is your life. My bad eyelids. Megan hates this because my daughter got these, the oldest daughter.